Cool. I think we can start the meeting for today. Hello and welcome everyone. Today is October 13th, and this is Metal3 Community meeting. Just a reminder that this meeting is being recorded right now, and later we'll post it on the Metal3 YouTube channel. If you have any items that you want to discuss today with the community, then please go ahead and add it to our agenda, and I can share the link to the Google Doc if you want to add anything. So you should be able to find it on the chat. So please also add your name in the attendance list here. And I think we can start with the agenda. So the first item is introductions as usual. So if there is someone new on the call, and if you want to give a quick update or like introduction about yourself, please go ahead and I will mute my microphone as well. All right, I think we don't have anyone new on the call, then let's move on. So the first item is from Ravi, I think about the proposal. Ravi, please go ahead.
So this proposal we added for the error host count in the hardware processing controller. Just wanted someone to review this.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this proposal? All right, if not, then please take a look at the proposal whenever you have time and then give your thoughts or comments on this. If no questions or comments, I will just move on. So the next one is from Zane regarding the CNCF annual review. Zane, please go ahead.
Yeah, so just a reminder that this is happening. I've filled in some of the details in here. But there's a couple of things that we probably need wider input on. One is kind of the current goals of the project. I've added a couple in there, but maybe, I don't know, maybe if everyone kind of puts their ideas in there, and then we could discuss in another meeting which ones we want to tell the CNCF are our actual goals. Hopefully keep it to things that are achievable in the next year. Another one is, how can the CNCF help you achieve your upcoming goals? If anybody has feedback on that, how we can get more, if there's anything CNCF can help with, drop it in the doc there. And of course, if you are using Metal3 and you're not yet in the adopters file, that'd be great if you could add yourself or add your company or whatever. That's about it. I don't really have anything else.
Great, thanks Zane for the reminder. Actually, I was asking all the maintainers. I received an email, kind of a reminder also from CNCF Fox that we have to complete this by the 10th of November, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So I will also try to add, because I was planning to write some stuff. And then the same for everyone. Yes, if you have time, please take a look, add your thoughts. Even if you're not sure that you want to add it here, you can just even leave the comment here, and then we can discuss it there and then add it based on that. So everyone should be able to write it here. I think the Google Doc is not blocked. Great. Any questions or comments on this?
So we have about, what, 3 weeks left?
More or less, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it'd be good if people could start, if anyone has anything to add, get it in now. and so we can discuss it at a future meeting before we go ahead and submit the final review.
Yes. All right. Any questions or comments on this? And thanks a lot for those who have submitted patches to the Metal Cube docs to add themselves to mention that they're using Metal Cube. So I think that's really valuable. All right. If no questions or comments, then let's move on. So the next one is from Zane H. Roy. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrongly. Status of
yeah, so it's Himanshu Roy. Unfortunately, I was hoping he could give us an update on the work he's been doing, but he is off sick today. So,
okay.
Just briefly on this topic, I think we've all agreed in the past that it is a problem that the bare metal host CIDs are not frozen, and we keep adding stuff to them. So we need to be able to have a proper kind of versioning thing where if we change the CIDs, we'll bump the version. And Himanshu is looking into how can we make that a bit easier in the code, because like the letters V1 alpha 1 are typed like millions of times, not literally, in the code. And so we don't want to have to like find and replace those every single time we bump the version. So he, I believe, I haven't spoken to him for a while, has been looking into like how we can set that up so it's kind of easy to rev the API. And then that ties back into a discussion that we were having on the annual review, which is that we also need to like do releases of the bare metal operator and have like proper versioning scheme for that. But my view on it is that there's not much point doing that until the API is frozen, but maybe someone disagrees. I don't know. So anyway, maybe Himanshu will be back next week and we can discuss that again.
Yep, that's actually a good topic. What is, I think the release is one way to go, right? And why, what is the actual reason that we haven't started yet doing the release process for Beamer? Is it because it's still in the APIs are in development kind of mode? Still like many like big things are coming in.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if it was the reason. It was just something we've never got around to doing. Never really defined a process for it. So it's certainly one of the requirements of the not of the annual review, but of the graduation review or incubation review if we want to move the project into incubation with CNCF. So that's one of the reasons why we're kind of focusing on it. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could start doing released versions now and then worry about revving the API later. It feels a little bit weird to me to be like tagging a version and saying, hey, this is the release, but we might change all your CIDs later in the next release.
Yeah, so if
you'll have more experience with this than I do, so happy to hear input from anyone who's like been working on the CAPM 3 and how that process is going.
Yeah, we in CAPM 3 we basically do this similar like how CAPI does. So they have, for example, V1 Alpha 1, then they created V1 A2, they froze the V1 A1, but they were doing still some minor bug fixes for V1 A1, for example. But then whenever they're introducing some breaking changes, they're usually trying to put it in a new API. For example, now they have, I think V1 A4, V1 A3, V1 A4, and now beta just came out. So production ready. But they're still continuing to work with older APIs like V1 A3. So, and they're doing some minor releases, like patch releases, or not minor, but patch releases. And we're doing the same in CAPM3. So in CAPM3, we have right now V1A4 API version and V1A5 API version. But we still continue doing the release for V1A4 API versions. And at the same time, we do it for V1A5. The only thing that goes through the older version of the API is some bug fixes, but not really some API changes because we don't want to touch it because it might just break. And one thing that I think needs to be considered also is if we're going to do some sort of release, how upgrade will happen from, for example, one maybe API version to the second one, which is I think the big thing. But yeah.
So you're doing one like one kind of branch for each API version, is that correct?
Correct. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of tied to the CAPI release cycle.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Okay.
you can see that we have release 03, which is using the API versions of V1A3 APIs. Yeah. And if I go to release 04, we have API versions of V1A5, A4. So, and right now in the master, for example, we're planning to add V1 beta 1. So what we will do is that we'll create a new branch, like we'll freeze the current master, which will be named release 05. And then all the breaking changes will go into the master. And whenever we're releasing, so we can, for example, release from specific branches, and then the bot is configured to that, to the release. So if I say, for example, V5, it means API version V5, and we can have releases 1, 2, 3 up to 10, for example. And same for V1A4 and V3, but V3 is already deprecated. But yeah.
Okay. So now that the CAPI has gone to beta API,
Correct.
do you think that's going to change the release cycle? Like, would it make sense to do releases aligned with the Kubernetes release cycle, where you know bump all the control runtime every time Kubernetes bumps it, or something like that? Is that something that's been discussed?
Yeah, it's actually being discussed right now. We're not sure about that, and I think Kashif was asking also, like mentioning about the beta, what we should do. It also brings another topic, like whether we should also create the beta APIs or we should create just V1 A6 APIs, because what is the criteria to be called as a production ready? Because beta, when they release the cluster API, beta APIs, V1 beta APIs, they said it's production ready, but we're not sure if that's the case for us. And what will be the harm if we don't create beta, but we just create V1 A6, which will be sticking to the beta APIs of CAPI? So yeah, that's not yet decided. We're just.
I replied to a thread about that yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I agree with your point, and I was telling more the same to Kashif, and there are some other points as well that Mile also mentioned on the Slack, that it would be good to follow the versioning, because other providers like Azure, AWS vSphere, for example, they're all going for beta APIs because I think they want to stick to the CAPI. But I don't know if they're doing it because they really want to follow the CAPI workflow, or if they are also already production ready since it's on their cloud. So yeah, it's still being discussed. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I would say, like, don't think of it as about the code being production ready.
Mhm.
It's more about, are we confident we don't have to change this API again?
Yeah. We actually have a couple of lays like people are using already in production. So like
I mean, lots of people are using Metal3 in production. So yeah.
Okay, thanks, Zane. Any questions or comments on this topic or topics? All right. If not, let's move on. So the next one is from Mahnur, request on the review on BMOPR. Okay, here. Please go ahead, Mahnur. I'm not sure if Mahnur is actually on the call. Maybe someone from the same team can give an update. Oh, it's regarding this rate. I think the proposal that just got merged yesterday, if I'm not wrong. It's close, actually.
No, hold on. That's the old one.
Okay,
There
so
was-
there's another one. Was it that one that got merged yesterday in the middle talks related to this? Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, okay. Cool. So the proposal is merged now. I think the review is needed on the PR, and I think it needs some rebasing in the first place. So if someone has time to take a look at the PR, please do so. That would be appreciated. So, questions or comments on this? All right, let's move on then. Next, yeah, thanks, Zane. Next item is from Shukun, status of the network automation proposal. Shukun, please go ahead.
Yes. So since last review, we have changed a lot about this proposal and add some new CRD and controller, and simpler and making this document more simpler. So it may. So please, if anyone have interested about this or have some time, please review this proposal.
All right, any questions?
I have this on my list. It's just it requires a lot of brain space for this one, so
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
Any other comments or questions? All right, if not, let's move on. And Shukran, thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for those who helped a lot to you and this proposal. This is, I think this is really good work, and it's close to be implemented. Really, thanks a lot, Shukran. So if no questions, I will move on and ask the same. Please take a look at the PR. So the next item is from Ricardo.
Yeah, it's just like a proposal to remove or archive everything that is older than 6 months here, since the file is like quite big. We have almost 2 years of content.
Yeah, I think that should be fine. I actually didn't notice that because it usually starts from the top, but yeah, just n+1.
I don't know if we want to keep them, like all the topics in a different file, or if we just want to remove them.
We could create a new file. Actually, I know that Cluster API, they create a new file from the new year or something like that. Yeah, from the beginning of the new year, I think they created. And this is one of the reasons why that file gets too big. So we could actually create a new file and archive this one and still keep it. So for the history reason.
Yeah, sounds good.
If
Yeah, one per year sounds reasonable.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then I will do that and just put the notice and replace the references maybe everywhere on that. Any questions or objections on this? Okay, if not, let's move on. So the next one is from Ashur. I think the PR needs some.
Actually, yeah, this PR is actually related to upgrading the version. So actually, Peruz is not in the approval list, so he tagged the mail to approve it. Give the LGTM. It is approved, but it needs a.
Yeah.
So,
I'm yeah.
number, mail, and Zane are the approval list.
If someone has reviewer and approval right of this, it would be good to merge this. It is about deprecated custom CRD APIs that is not deprecated but removed in 1.22 of Kubernetes.
Yeah, we do that.
Thanks a lot, Zane. So I think that's the end of the agenda for today. Anyone still wants to discuss any items before we cut the call? All right. If not, thanks a lot everyone for joining and see you next time. And please take a look at the annual review and put your thoughts if you have something that you want to add there. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks everyone. See you.
Thanks. Bye.
Right.